Conversations. I am so excited to have my dear friend Hadley McClellan-Schaefer. She's joined us before, and she has so many amazing updates to share. Things have really been wild for you since we chatted last time.
Yeah.
So you've got, your book is dropping on September 30th.
Yep.
And then today, I want to hear more about this conference that you're spearheading on October 25th. What's this all about?
Yeah.
Why'd you feel like doing it? Tell me more about the conference.
Yeah, well, thanks for having me here. I'm really excited. This has been a big year for me. I set 3 goals for myself this year. One of them was to really get my business, Holistic Meeting Strategies, off the ground. The second one was to finally publish my book. I've been putting my blood, sweat, and tears into for 5 years. So the release date's September 30th. I'm really excited. And then the third goal I set for this year was I wanted to start speaking and sharing my story about resilience and what I've learned along the way through my career and relationships and all of that. And when I launched this company, I started reaching out to my network and had a conversation with somebody who told me about the One Woman Fearless Summit. And I thought it sounded really interesting. And the summit was like the day after we talked, and unfortunately I wasn't going to be able to make it. But I got onto the mailing list, went into the website, thought it was a really interesting story. And the woman who started this is based in Canada. Mm-hmm. And her name is Charlotte Brown. She's just a fascinating woman. And she sent out an email saying, hey, is anybody interested in hosting in this city, in your city? And I was like, well, this is like what I do for a living. So I filled in the application, and she and I got on a call, and I was just so impressed with her story. We have a very similar background in that she's an event organizer, and she went on this life-changing trip and decided to launch this summit. And as you know, I've done some life-changing trips myself. And so Charla is just really, this event's gone on for 10 years, and it's just a really powerful movement about women sharing their stories of resilience, transition, empowerment, leadership, and all of that kind of stuff. So I immediately said yes. I'm also co-hosting the event in Dallas, September 13th. So I'm starting to share my story.
Oh, wow.
I've been taking courses and all this kind of stuff. And so my 3 goals are getting accomplished this year. So that's why
You're slaying them. That's amazing.
Thank you.
That's incredible. I'm not surprised.
No.
I'm not surprised.
Well, it's with people like you I've been able to do any of this.
So the summit it's called
the One Woman Fearless Summit.
Okay, fearless.
Yeah.
Let's talk about fearlessness. What is fearlessness?
You know, what's interesting is when I was thinking about applying to speak at the summit first, before the event application to host came up, I was like, I don't know what my fearless story is. And I started doing some soul searching about it because of the different adventures I've gone on and the different choices that I've made in my life. There have been people that have said, you're very brave, or you must be fearless, and things like that. I mean, I would never jump out of a plane. But
that surprises me. If somebody just said, you know, Hadley, she's thinking about jumping out of a plane, I'd be like, I could see that.
Well, in all fairness, I almost did once, but it got derailed, and I was like, I don't think I missed anything. But what I've realized is that fearlessness is really the presence of courage.
Okay, tell me more.
So I think that there are a lot of things that we do in our lives that we fear doing, but courage meets us on the way to get there. And so we just make it happen because we want to do something, and in order to do it, we first have to begin. You have to take that first step. And when you take that first step, that's when courage meets you at the door and starts walking along with you. And I think that to me, that's what fearlessness is. And I had a conversation with another entrepreneurial mentor of mine. You know, it's something when you start a business, other entrepreneurs come out and they're like, let me tell you all of my lessons,
you have no idea how horrible I would feel if one of my friends made a mistake that I made, and I could have kept the.
Yeah.
Yes, it's
Yes.
so true. And I bet you're about a year into this, right?
Almost, yeah.
You're feeling it, right? It's just, that's one of the most magnificent things about entrepreneurship.
Yeah, and I've been so
support.
grateful for people like you who've just passed on this wisdom. And I was having this conversation with another entrepreneur, and we were talking about fearlessness as well. And he said something to me that really resonated. And he said, fear isn't the issue. It's being afraid of fear. So when you're afraid of fear, you don't start. You know, when you're like, I'm really scared to do it, but I'm going to do it anyway, that's fearlessness, or that's courage. But when you're saying, I'm afraid to do it, I don't want to jump out of a plane. Maybe there's fear, but that's just a decision.
Right.
You know, but if you're like, you know, I don't want to start this business because I'm going to be afraid to fail, then you let something that could be great slip through your fingers, you know? So that's what
it's
it is. It's
interesting how our little reptilian brains kick in with things that won't kill us. But, you know, I mean, it's wild.
I know. When I started this at you know, I was 45 years old, you became an entrepreneur in your 20s. Like,
in my 30s, yeah.
But 30, I mean, you were very young and fearless. I feel like I'm old and fearless. Or maybe I just have a little bit more courage now. You know, that's why I was able to do it now.
Yeah. And it shows up in just the smallest ways too.
Yeah.
You know, talking to somebody at the grocery store, chat, you know, that courage creates openness, and openness begets new experiences and new adventures. It's really,
and I think it has to do with also just stating these things. You know, I can plan an event with my eyes closed, but going to one by myself and having to network is like nails on a chalkboard to me. But in order to be successful as an entrepreneur and to meet the goals that I want to meet, especially this year, I have to put myself out there. So, you know, being afraid of sitting in the corner by myself isn't going to get me anywhere. I've got to step into a circle of people who already know each other and be like, hi.
You know, that's another thing. So she doesn't want to skydive, and she doesn't really feel excited about going to networking events. This shocks me.
Well, I didn't. Now I've gotten a lot better at it, because the doors that have been open have been to really exciting places, because I finally just said, maybe I don't like it, but I have to do it. And now it's like, look at all these connections that I've made and these opportunities that I've had. So,
and all of that is really kind of part of sort of this multifaceted idea that you've kind of shared with me a little bit about empowerment. Talk to me more about kind of the word empowerment, what that means.
You know, I think it's what we were talking about earlier. Like, you see somebody stepping out saying, I'm going to be an entrepreneur. Empowerment comes not just from within, but it comes from with others too. So, Brandy, when you heard I was going to start my own business, you immediately reached out, and that helped empower me to do this. And I think that's what an event does like this, because you see other women show up and share their stories of resilience and transition and transformation and all of those things. And it empowers and lifts other people to do the same, who maybe were a bit afraid to do it in the first place, or, you know, afraid to go to the event by themselves, or afraid to network. And now it's like, oh, you know, I mean, if somebody's watching this and they're like, Hadley plans events but didn't like to go by herself, and now she's going, okay, all right, maybe I'm going to go to this event by myself so I can meet some other people, you know, shake some new hands, lift each other up.
And I mean, it's interesting, because if you can switch that on, like when you go to an event and you put your own trepidation aside and say, okay, my job is to make someone else who looks as uncomfortable as me feel comfortable. Yeah. It's so much easier than trying to look inward.
Yeah.
And, like, calm yourself down.
Yeah. And
Isn't that funny?
Yeah, it is. And it's kindness in action. You know, I went to an event. It was a black tie affair by myself. a couple of months ago, and I had met a couple of people who were going to be there, and a couple of them, I went up and I said hello, and we were talking, and then they just started taking me around and introducing me to other people. And again, I didn't tell them I was nervous about, stepping into conversations. It's kindness in action. And I think that's what I want this event to do for other people, is learn from other stories, see kindness in action, lift each other up, empower each other into stepping into something new.
I love that. Thanks. I love that. Kindness in action. I think it's interesting I'm going to think about that. Like, when can you create kindness in action wherever you're at in that moment? Speaking of kindness in action, you have a very kind in action venue. Talk to me about that, the Omni. And of course, I love that place because of the swans. Are the swans, I haven't been there in a few years. Are the black swans still there?
Well, I know the club is. The Black Swan Club is still there. I haven't been around outside, but I would assume so if they still have the Black Swan. But they've totally renovated it since Harvey. I hadn't been there in years either. And I went, it is gorgeous.
I bet.
They've really done this amazing job with these greenery walls and new restaurant space, and their ballrooms are different and beautiful, and the carpets are new. I don't know if you've been to some venues and you look down and you're like, this has seen some parties. Yeah.
So it's the Omni Riverway.
It's the Omni Riverway in
which
Houston.
It's like a little oasis in the middle of the Galleria.
Yes. And, when I launched this business, I knew I needed to get my name out there. So I joined the Meeting Professional International, and I said to the board chair, James Brown, I was like, put me in, coach.
His name is James Brown?
Yes. He's amazing.
Is he like James Brown? Is he that fun?
He is very fun. He's a keynote speaker. He's a track star. That's what his story relates to. It's really interesting. But I was like, please put me in. So I got in on the education committee. Next year, I'm actually going to be the VP of education. But
Perfect.
With this, I'm helping to plan the events. And because of this networking, I've developed a relationship with this woman at the Omni. And I told her about this event, and I was looking for a venue. And, because I'm hosting it, I'm putting some my own financial backing of it. And we went to lunch one day with their director of marketing, and they just really believe in this story of the One Woman Fearless and what it does for women and young girls all over the world, because there's money that goes back to the foundation of it. And they wanted to sponsor this because I said, I want this event to grow. I want to keep building on this. So the Omni is the room sponsor and the breakfast sponsor.
Wow.
Yeah. So I'm really grateful. And again, that was from stepping outside of my comfort zone, going and seeing, what can I do? Where can I put my best foot forward, and making connections.
So tell me the story that you told James and who's the director of marketing for
Danya.
Yeah. So tell me what you told them about this conference, the story behind it.
It was the same story I told you in the beginning, that I just wanted to be a part of uplifting others and sharing other people's stories. And I'm partnering with One Woman. So sponsors and vendors get access to their 400,000 global network by putting their, logo and website in front of those people. But the story is just, helping me get my message out, helping other women get their messages out, and I want to start a movement almost, and believing in the believing that it's not just women who uplift other women, it's men uplift other women. And I think that there's something to say about men who want to attend or sponsor events like this, because they see strong women breaking glass ceilings and stepping another rank on the ladder and things like that. So
And what would somebody expect? What are you, and don't tell me expect the unexpected. Like, paint the picture. Like,
Yeah. So it's a full day event. There's going to be 12 speakers.
Mm-hmm.
Each speaker is going to give a 20-minute version of their story.
Wow.
We are going to have breakfast, lunch, breaks, a reception at the end, and just a chance for like-minded people. And the like-minded people are people who want to share with others and want to learn from others. So it's going to be a full day. It's on a Saturday, so you don't have to give up work. You know, you can even have your daughters come to this event because they can learn from women like you. You know, it's not
like 6-year-olds or 13-year-olds.
I would say a 6-year-old might get a little bored, but you know, if you've got probably an 18-year-old or 17-year-old trying to figure out what they want to do when they go to school, college, or after high school, and want to see how other people have done it, then why not?
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. That's incredible. And so so say I want to sign up for this event, which of course I do. How do people do it? What do people do next?
Yeah, so excuse me, the event is on my company website, which is holisticmeetingstrategies.com/onewomanfearless.
Beautiful.
There you can find out how to sponsor through there. You can find out, you can buy your tickets through there. You can also find out more about the One Woman organization by going to onewoman.ca. She's based in Canada, so that's where this all started. These events happen all over the world, which is amazing. So if you're, really interested in this, but you live in Dallas, you can come join us on September 13th. You can go to Chicago next year, Wisconsin. I mean, it's even, I think they're going to do one in Australia in 2026.
Wow.
So, yeah.
You know what I didn't even mention? Hadley's event is in Houston.
Yeah.
In beautiful Houston, Texas, which is very easy to get to. And so if you're somewhere in the neighborhood, come on over.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I'm going to share a little bit of my story, my bend method, which I developed after writing my book, Break It to Bend. So I'll also be, selling and signing my book. If anybody's interested.
It's so cool. So if you want to meet a published author, soon to be best-selling, fabulous, amazing author, watch out, Oprah. She's coming for you.
You get a book. You get a book.
It's going to be so good.
Thanks.
All right. Well, listen, thank you so much for spending time with me.
Thank
this
you.
morning. Is there anything else that you want to share with the group?
No, other than I just think this is going to be a really great opportunity for Houstonians to join other powerful, resilient Houstonians in a weekend, and just kind of get your next week started with some fun and some cool stories.